All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. This is our MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest, in the Pacific Northwest, yeah, and we're getting ready to start again in the fall. We've had a lot of events online for the last 2.5 years, and we've had so many more online for the last 1.5 years, like so many other people. Well, this is our online awakening panel. In our awakening panels, we have a panel of practitioners that answer questions from the audience. And this is a special awakening panel today. It's a training panel. Today we have practitioners that are opening to new modalities, or new practitioners, or practitioners getting used to sharing their work online, getting used to sharing their work online on the stage in front of a group. So thank you so much for supporting them stepping into this today. There are a couple of us that are holding space for the practitioners as they step into this new experience. Yeah, so the way this is going to work today is we'll have all the practitioners go through and share about who they are. We'll have the practitioners on the panel share first, so each get a couple of minutes or so to share. And then Susy and I, who are backing them up, will share a little bit about ourselves too. And then we'll be answering your questions. If you'd like to ask a question, please, we request that you pay first before you ask, and I'll get the information in the chat again in a moment. And then if after you've paid, if you could please just let me know in the chat that you've done that, I'll make sure that I get you on the list promptly, and we'll go through our list of questions. Chances are, half or more of the people on the panel will answer your question, so you get multiple perspectives, and it's free to be here to listen and learn, and it's a very tiny price to ask the question of the panel. It gets $4 to $12 sliding scale, 8 to 12, and then $4 for BIPOC. So thanks so much for being here and supporting us to be able to offer these events and supporting all these practitioners stepping into sharing their gifts. All right, well, maybe let's go in the same order we went before, if that works for everybody. We'll have Abby, and then Jess, and then Gio, and then I think it was Carrie and Angela and Denise. All right, so go ahead and take a couple of minutes and share about who you are and what you offer and anything about your journey that you want to share. Go ahead.
Wonderful. Hi, my name is Abby. I run AV Tarot reading online, and I also run a tarot and vintage astrology book market on Etsy, which is AV Tarot Market, all in words. Super easy to fun to find. My skill set is mostly clairvoyant with tarot as my tool. It's starting to lean, instead of just being so tarot focused, into a touch of mediumship as well. So I figure I'm talking with your guides, your guardians, and your ancestors maybe all at once to answer either like mundane questions or maybe even super esoteric questions. But my skill set is best when there's a direct question, so I can provide a direct answer. I tend to be a fast read as well, so I tend to get directly to the point of what we're trying to pull on. At least that's what I like to do anyway. But yeah, I've been reading semi-professionally for a couple years now, but as like most of us, we've kind of had a lifelong skill set. And it's just nowadays we're starting to lean into those things that are natural inclinations to us. So it's a joy and a privilege and an honor to be able to play in the sandbox with other amazing people. So I look forward to reading for the people who come in, and then to show and tell and share and tell with all the ladies on the panel today. So thank you.
That's great, and I love show and tell, share and tell. This is great. All right, Jess.
Hi everyone, my name's Jess. Just sensitive from an early age, felt the presence of non-physical beings around me, again, from a young age, sometimes interacted, sometimes not so much. One time saw, which was, I think, the direct result of hearing a knock near my head and then saying, "Who's there?" That's the one and only time that I've seen a non-physical being, which I think, again, is that direct asking. But I've had a knowing, oftentimes throughout my life. I've received visits and insights through dreams. Sometimes really delved into the thoughts and emotions of those I'm connected to, those sorts of things. But I'm looking forward to our time together to just kind of have some fun and support however I can. Have a love for tarot and oracle cards, so that's primarily what I expect to be using, but I look forward to seeing what comes through and to getting a little snapshot of what may be going on with some of you. So thanks for being here. I'm happy to be here, and it'll be a good time.
Thanks so much, Jess. All right, Gio.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gio Lundgren, and I am an intuitive marriage and family therapist that owns 3 loud parrots. My background is in psychology. So I have a psychology degree. I also have a law degree from Cornell and a marriage and family therapy degree. So I am a therapist. I know, don't shun me for being here. So I've been practicing as a therapist for the last 10 years. I specialize in communication issues, resolving conflicts, increasing happiness, and personal growth. And I've also been working for Laureli for the last, since September, almost a year. And that certainly has exposed me to the intuitive world, which I didn't really get into until recently. And then all of a sudden it kind of hit, sort of like a Mack truck, a few months ago. And I got really into oracle cards. And then most recently, as in the last like 3 weeks, I've gotten really into tarot. But there are experts here today, so I'm not going to mention tarot. But so what I'm trying to do is combine my intuitive skills, which I do have. I've been relying on them more lately. I'm somewhat clairvoyant and definitely claircognizant. It's crazy, stuff just comes to me. So I'm trying to combine my love of oracle and helping people and providing therapy by creating a business called Oracle Inspired Healing, where I can pull some cards, convey the message on the cards, and then hopefully jump into a deeper therapy sort of subject to provide the guidance and the help, along with whatever intuitive hits I happen to get. Let's see. That's it, I guess. I'm very new to all of this. Very, very new.
You're very new to the stage, and you've been hanging out in the background supporting this now for a bit. Great.
Yes, I'm an intuitive bookkeeper also for Laurel.
And so much more. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think so. Let's see. So Carrie, and then Angela, and then Denise. Go ahead, Carrie.
Oh, I love that intuitive bookkeeper. I think that's amazing. Hi, I'm Carrie. My business is Juniper Moon Holistic Healing. I read mainly tarot and oracle. I'm also a medium. I'm mainly clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, a little bit of all of it. Every once in a while I'll get a whiff of something too. So there's that. And I just like to set my ego aside and just let spirit come through whatever messages. Sometimes when I'm doing a reading, a tarot reading, I'll have, it'll turn into a mediumship reading. And then sometimes if I'm doing a mediumship reading, it'll turn into a Reiki healing. I mean, it just kind of, I just let it ebb and flow and let them lead me where I need to go with that individual. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, and I am studying to get my degree in crystal healing as well. I'm I think 89% done. Yay. Yeah, I love crystals, all that stuff. I'm always down to talk about crystals. So that's about it for me. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm going to have a good time today, and I hope you do too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, it's Angela's turn.
Hi, I'm Angela. I say that I really realized one of my modalities was clairvoyance at a younger age. And I think as I got older, I started realizing that sometimes some of the images that I saw were not about me. So it'd be, if I was at the dentist, or if I was, getting a massage, I would have very different images that I didn't see before. And so I think one time I took the courage to ask the person, like, does this mean something to you? And they were kind of floored by it. And it actually turned into like a little mini reading, which I didn't even know that I could do. And so, and then also I think growing up, a lot of like premonition type of things, mostly in dreams, and then kind of in daydreams, which obviously is a clairvoyance, right? So what I started doing when I was doing like psychic, or, sometimes the readings turn a little bit mediumship, but I don't concentrate on that because I'm kind of more interested in people's energy and them helping themselves. And sometimes, even though when somebody knows that there's something going on in their life or a certain energy, I think sometimes the first part of healing and helping that is the recognition. So having somebody else put it in the form of artwork or pictures, which is what I do, because I see and then I translate onto paper what somebody's energy is. And sometimes it's not always clear to me exactly what the images mean, but when I lay them out for people, it makes sense to them. So a lot of times I'll do sketching while intuitively while someone's talking. And a lot of what I do intuitively is just kind of like claircognizance. So it's just that knowing that comes to you, and you just know that that person needs that information. And I can be found at Glow Reiki California on Instagram, or on email at angela@13llc.studio.com. And one more thing. I'm also a Holy Fire Reiki Master Practitioner. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Angela. All right. Let's see. So Denise. Oh, you're muted still.
Okay.
Great.
Hi. Is it the headphones working?
They are.
Awesome.
Yes. Great.
Okay. Thank you. I had not thought to try out the headphones with the computer before I sat down. Hi, I'm Denise Segler. My business name is Gaia's Girlfriend. I'm a channel and I'm an intuitive oracle card reader. What that means in an intuitive oracle card reader is that I can tell you what the cards say, as well as any information that gets related to me by divine as we're doing the reading. Just to give you some background, I've always had a sense of there being more than we could see. As a small child, I talked to myself a lot, and I was always that child that was like, keep an eye on her. She's a little bit odd, because I perceived things as being there, and I would say, hello, I can't, like, I know you're there. I can't see you. I can't hear you, but I sense that you're there. And so I would talk to it, but I couldn't hear it at that point. I've always had an inner sense of what's true and what's not true. You talk about people who are human lie detectors, and I've always done that. Somebody will say something and I go, that's not quite right. Or yeah, that makes sense. So I've always been I've always tried to lean into that intuition. And it's only now and in the past few years that I've really connected with guides and be able to be a channel. I've been on this path about 4 or 5 years now. I'm an ordained pagan priestess and I'm a Reiki master. And for the channeling, I perceive the divine as though I'm having a conversation with them. So I can basically hear them and I can relate their wisdom to you. It usually comes through in complete sentences. Sometimes it comes through as just something short, something like, have you considered whatever, or mention work relationships or something like that. So sometimes it's just little bits and pieces, but I will usually get complete sentences. I mostly work with my personal guides, who are Gaia, Archangel Michael, and Archangel Azrael. The business is Gaia's Girlfriend because she is the first being with whom I developed that relationship. And I do speak to her more as a girlfriend. I can kind of go to her with anything and get really great advice from her. And so I'm happy to share that advice with you as well if you have any questions about that. Those are the beings that I'm the most comfortable speaking with. My email is gaiasgirlfriend22@gmail.com. Thank you for having me here today.
All right, thank you so much. So these are all the practitioners that are here today answering your questions, supported by myself and Susy. Susy, share a bit about you.
Hey, this is Susy Parker Goins of Blue Lightning Healing. I am so honored to be here today to watch these souls unfold and walk into their own power. That's really the big focus of what it is I do as a channel and an energy healer and a guide, connecting you with divine, how you see it, how, as Denise was talking about, how you're most comfortable with. And I feel that accessibility of conversation is important, because if you get I've had those experiences where I've met a new guide and just got all kinds of, oh, you're so fabulous. I can't talk to you. Look in your, and my guides have been the ones who just sit over in the corner and go, okay, are you done yet? Because we have work to do. And a lot of the information I receive is that it's like, this is the work to be done, but you're not doing it alone. The panel like this shows you that nobody is alone. We're all here to support each other and to uplift each other. And that's what I try to do, not only with my practice, but with my podcast, Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. You can find that on anchor.fm, Spotify, Transformation Talk Radio. You can go to my website at bluelightninghealing.com and get links for all those different places. My email is Susy, that's SUSY, at bluelightninghealing.com. And I am so looking forward to a lovely, insightful panel with everyone today. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Susie. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. In addition to hosting this event, I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I interpret what I see in your eyes. Eyes are a window to the soul with a set of archetypes so that you can better understand you, your gifts, your purpose. And then we look at all kinds of different areas of your life to see how you can express the best of who you are in a way that supports you and supports all of those around you. I think that when we do what we love, when we follow our purpose, that it's good for everyone. And I love the way everyone and Susie is talking about why we're here today and what we love. So the name of the MeWe events, it's MeWe from Metaphysics and Wellness, and it's also MeWe because we don't do it alone. It's each of us our own growth path, and we do it together as a community, supporting each other and growing together and sharing feedback and reflections in a way that enables us to better see ourselves and express who we are. Well, thanks everyone for being here doing this all together. This is how we do it. How we grow and how we be and transform ourselves and others. Really to be who we are. All right, well, we've got two people ready to ask questions. A few basic things to share before we go is, and some of you have been here before and you know how this all works. When you ask a question of the panel, you ask a question and the panel may go deeper than you intend us to go on this recorded public to be published on YouTube forum. Or we may talk about areas of your life that you don't want us talking about in the way we answer this question in this forum, and that's totally okay. You just have to let us know. Feel free to wave your hands wildly in the video, unmute, and jump in and redirect us right in the chat. Give us all the feedback that we need so that we can steer where you want us to be and so we can honor you in the way we answer today. So practitioners, don't worry about holding back so much. It's like check in with the person that asks questions if you want, but really, everyone give us feedback so that we can honor you in our answers. In addition to listening and learning from all that's asked and all that's answered, I recommend that all of you also use this as an opportunity to tune into your own intuition. You may have messages come through you as people ask and as we answer. It's a great opportunity to see if what comes through you is related to what we share. You may have something come through that is equally valid that no one happens to share in their answers. We do request that you allow the attention to stay up on the panel today. So if something does come through for you, I recommend that you write it down in some form quickly because often these insights leave quickly. And then if you want, when we're done answering someone's question, you can private chat them and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through you for them. And please honor whatever it is they say. They may be full after they receive answers from people on the panel, and trust that it's come through you for some other reason. So yeah, please, if you could allow the attention to stay up here, that would be great. I think those are all the basics about what we need to do in holding the circle right before we get started. And just practitioners, any questions you have come up at any time and say, so please feel free, message Susie, message me, let us know. We're here to support you. All right, well, so we've got Mary in line and Anne in line. If anyone else has already paid to ask a question, please just let me know. The information's there in the chat if you want to pay and get in line, and yeah, we'll get started. So let's see, I think it's a smaller group today, so I'm not going to spotlight us, but if some of you that would be helpful to spotlight, let me know. And practitioners, we didn't talk about this, but if you want, you can, oh great, we've got someone else in line. Practitioners, you can pin the person that's speaking if you want, and you can also set it in speaker view and all those things. Just want to make sure you're all supported and all that. All right, great. Mary, you ready to ask your question?
I sure am. Hi, how you doing?
We are good. And you're not on video. You don't have to be on video, but some of us might connect with you more easily if you're on video. Totally up to you.
Okay, how do I do that? Start video?
I'll give you start video.
There we go.
Great. Yay, we can see you.
Yay. It's been a while since I've talked to you.
Thanks for coming back.
Oh no, trust me, I need this most of the time. So like I said in my text to you, this is the first year of my mom's passing. And I know she's with me. There's definitely signs. But I was just curious if anybody was picking up on her being out there with me. My dad, he passed 4 years ago, and my best friend, he passed like 10 years ago. So I know they're all with me. But I'm planning a move in hopefully the beginning of next spring. But I'd also like to know if anybody picks up on that as well.
All right, great. I'm just updating the notes on your question. So practitioners, yeah, if you want to refer to that, I've got notes. And yeah, it's great. If so, anyone that asks a question, if you have multiple questions, it's great. Give us all of them, and then practitioners can just see what comes through about those things. Yeah. So thanks, Mary, for a nice, rich question with lots of options for people.
No
So
problem.
so take your time checking in, and then when you're ready to answer, just raise your hand in Zoom and
I know I handed you guys a lot.
it's okay. It's great. Yeah. So thanks for your patience while we're
No, that's fine.
seeing.
I'll patiently wait for any answers you guys have to give to me.
That's great. Abby's set. Go ahead, Abby.
Hey, Sweet Pea, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us.
Hey.
The first thing that showed up for me was in relation to your back. So I don't know if you have anything going on directly with your spine in relation to it was your back in relation to moving. So I'm hoping that as part of your move, you're taking care of your spine and making sure you hire movers or have other people do the heavy lifting, just so that you don't accidentally blow out a disc or something. So it was just the first thing that kind of came to mind for you was if I'm looking at your whole spinal column, I'm thinking about where your hips are and those, if I don't remember the actual term for those vertebrae, but just minding that and taking care of yourself there. So you said that you were just with your question, were you wanting to know if your mom had anything to say, or if your dad, or if your best friend? What was your question there?
Yeah, just checking in to see if they're, what they have to say about my move as well, and my situation right now.
Gotcha. The feeling that I got, I did pull a couple cards. I accidentally threw them into my set, but the first thing I got is in relation to your father feeling kind of proud that he set this move up for you. So it was just taking ownership and yeah, I did that kind of thing. So I don't know if that's acts like a part of his personality, but I felt a bit of pride from that energy saying yeah, I did that. That you're welcome kind of thing. So
that's
I was just
awesome.
So I was just rolling with that. But I feel everybody who's kind of in your team or on your court is just supportive of the move. So it's if you're ever worried about it, or if you're ever questioning if this was the right thing for you to do, it's just not, don't worry, honey, don't worry, honey, don't worry, honey. Everybody's on board. This is what you needed to do to take care of yourself. So there's a joy and a glad that you're doing this for you.
Awesome.
Do you have a specific question that I can pull on for you, or are you just kind of what's going on there?
So just specifically, I guess would be what basically am I going to be doing once I make that move? I know what I'm doing now, job-wise.
Job-wise, okay. What do you be doing? What do you do now, if you don't mind me asking?
I work for the Red Cross taking blood.
Oh, love it, love it. So are you in the healthcare field already?
So yeah, I'm a phlebotomist, and I've also done home health aid as well.
Okay, gotcha. So there was a feeling that I got in relation to it reminded me of working with other people who are elders, essentially. If you, for instance, are helping their you said a home health aid, would that involve you going to their particular location just to kind of make sure that wounds are checked, blood levels are good, stuff to that nature?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So the feeling that I got was a little bit of a continuation of the same. I didn't
Okay.
feel anything different that showed up like really loudly anyway. I mean, of course, what I'm feeling though is more of like you having more control over how you do it and what you're doing. So maybe you have more autonomy in regards to who, like what clients you're accepting on or what kind of load you're taking. But I just felt like you had more control over it than maybe you had prior. The
Okay.
cards that I got for you along was the Queen of Swords, along with the Ace of Cups, and then the Magician. So I feel like between all three of these, ultimately, like this is that move that you've been wanting to make and the best move that you could, because it gives you a lot more ownership over your life, essentially. So this is giving you kind of your freedom back in a way.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think that's where the mic drops for me. So I will go ahead and mute myself. But thank you so much for letting me read for you.
Abby, thank you so much. The father thing, yes, he's set it up for me. That's for sure. Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right, great. Thanks, Abby. Yeah, practitioners, anyone else have something to share with Mary? Oh, Gio is ready. All right, go ahead, Gio.
Hi. Okay, so I don't have a lot of additional content. It's more confirmation for the things that we just heard. I did pull 2 cards, and it was interesting. So let's see if this will work. So this one basically says act rather than wait. So it means just move forward. And ironically, the other one is stay focused, which also means you're both of the, hold on a second. Both of these two together indicate that you're moving in the right direction, and that it's good, that it's good and appropriate, and it's what you should be doing. It's encouraging, and again, not a big change, but just continue what you're doing, and it's the right direction.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Great, great. All right, we've got Carrie ready also. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Thanks for coming out today.
No problem.
Well, when you came on screen, almost immediately I felt a motherly energy around you. And then you said your mother. So I pulled some cards for you. So first I got the 3 of Swords. And then an oracle I got Past. And then another oracle I got Companionship. So the Companionship card is talking about giving someone your complete presence as a gift to them. So I feel like they're trying to tell you with this 3 of Swords, it's talking about loss and heartbreak. And obviously when you lose people that are close to you, you're going to feel that. But I believe the message here is that talking about the past is talking about, the booklet says that it's just talking about letting go of things in your past. And then speaking on companionship, I think they're trying to let you know that they know that you have suffered their loss, but they're around you. You can still talk to them. You can still, they're there for you. And like the other lady said, they've orchestrated these things for you, and I feel like they're always around you, especially your mother. I'm getting strong motherly energy. So I just kind of wanted to say that and let you know that they saw kind of what you went through and with each loss, and they want you to know they're okay and they are around you, and they're just always offering their companionship just on a different level.
Awesome.
And just keep that in mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thanks, Carrie. All right, Denise is ready, and then Angela. Go ahead, Denise.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. I pulled 3 oracle cards for you, and they basically correspond a lot with what other people were saying. I've got Seek Your Destiny, and this is talking about moving forward without fear and doing what you're meant to do. I've also got Heed the Messengers, which I believe you are. You can sense these past loved ones around you, and they're absolutely guiding you. And I love that you can perceive that a lot of people can't or don't want to. I don't know if it's too painful or not, but I love that you can understand that they're there. And then the final one was need and necessity. And this is talking about looking at your situation and trying to figure out where we need to act and where we need to, is movement here really necessary, or should I hold off a little bit? So you'll be looking at your discernment in moving forward. Don't be afraid. All of these cards are talking about moving forward and not being afraid. I really feel like you've got great guides around you. You've got that great energy around you, and whatever choices you make, use your discernment, but I don't think you're going to choose poorly. I really think you've got this.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. And then we've got Angela and then Susie. Go ahead, Angela.
Hi.
Hi.
So right away when you started talking about your mother, I saw images of oak leaves falling. And so I don't know if it would be something like an oak leaf specifically, but I feel like you if it's not an oak leaf, maybe you're finding little things in nature that you feel like it's, your mother's way of saying, I'm here, I got you, I hear you. And so does any of that resonate with you? Do you find that is there something specific that you find is like a symbol from your mother?
I just feel her. Like I go by dates. Like I said, I work for the Red Cross, so I'm talking to donors all the time. So like when it's her birthday or dad's birthday, and then the other day it was their anniversary, like 3 people were like, and I was like, well, this is a sign.
Mm-hmm.
So, that they're all with me, and that's the easiest way that I can stay sane, so to speak.
But I do think that it's, it is their way of connecting. And I think that me seeing this, that you're recognizing this sign, is their way of letting you know that they know that you're recognizing it. So just keep it up and feel keep comfort in that.
Okay.
And then are you moving closer to like a daughter-in-law type of person, or somebody that you would feel is close to you in that way?
I'm actually moving close to my cousin.
Okay. And do you have a really close relationship?
We used to, yeah. It used to be him and my dad. That's funny that the first one said about my dad. Him and my dad were very close. So I think that's where we're from, where you're coming in at with that.
Because I did feel like what that relationship that you're moving closer to is going to be really helpful and like therapeutic for you. And it's, not that it would be your total support, but it'll be a good supportive person for you. So awesome. That's what I got. So good luck on your move. And I think, everything's going to work out.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Great. And let's see, just the dance with Susie. Jess is also in line. Should we have Jess go first, or I wasn't sure what you wanted to leap in to share? Okay, Jess, go ahead, Jess.
All right. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Jess.
Hi. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything super new above what everyone else was sharing. Lots of different sort of messages coming through, but ultimately, really getting a sense that you really are dialed in. Like, you have the ability to connect and dial into your own inner wisdom and follow that. And so if you have some lack of closure, and some sort of unfinished business, it feels like, I think that just staying connected to your own inner wisdom and finding good feelings in the whatever abundance and connectivity and feel good things you have around you are going to shift you into a good place of that deeper sense of knowing. And the card that I will sort of show you, which, you talked about a move. So this pilgrim, she's walking away from the world on fire there. And so
Okay.
it gives me a sense that this is really going to be a good move for you. And
Awesome.
whatever, yeah. So whatever sort of unfinished business or lack of closure, find some healing through your own knowing, and yeah, embrace your move.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Susie, go ahead. What did you want to share?
Hey, Mary, I want to confirm so much of what everyone else is saying. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, let me do that. Oh, nope, Abby said that. Nope, Geo said that. So, and
Oh, Susie, I accidentally
Yeah.
muted you maybe somehow.
oh man. Of course, now no, I'm not going to run through it all. Okay, thank God I took notes. I want to pick up a little bit more on what Angela said. She picked up the oak leaf and the acorn.
And Susie,
Okay.
I'm just going to nudge you. Just I know I'm cutting in here. So just in terms of supporting them, is there any deeper questions that you want to ask Angela to see if Angela says more about that first?
Oh,
See, because I'm like, I know this is so hard for us as practitioners. We want to share. And just remember, our
no,
primary
that's
goal is
great.
supporting them. So,
Well, let me skip over that part. And then what I did see was, you said you were a phlebotomist, and what I am seeing you in a nurse capacity in a past life. And now I'm wrestling with it. Was it World War II? Was it World War I? But there is one point it was definitely a war in which the British were involved. So I guess I'm thinking World War I. And so this is you carrying forward that that soul, not contract so much, but that sole purpose of wanting to help people. And so your home care, checking in on people, it's that sort of thing. See, now they're bringing forward an image of you just being, like this housewife going through and checking on people. So you are fulfilling your soul contract in that way. The family, did I make notes about family things? No, I did see your mom and your dad there. Your mom is saying, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she's just kind of sitting back, drinking coffee, having a little coffee cake and going, "Yes, dear, go ahead." And your dad's like, "Okay, I got all these plans." And so I concur with oh, I'm so sorry. I don't remember who said that they are bringing you closer to that cousin so that there is healing to happen, not dad healing specifically, but there is some generational healing to go on. And so the whole thing that you are doing healthcare in a way that enhances everybody's experience, you're doing your sole purpose. So you were spot on. So well done.
Awesome. Thank you.
and Susie, did you want to ask a question of Angela about what came through for her, like a deepening? Or
Well,
I don't-
well, it was the oak leaf and acorn imagery. So I'd like to know what Angela, what do oak leaves and acorn mean to you?
That confused me. I really don't know.
So Mary, yeah, we're asking Angela, who's the one who said it. So
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, great. So hopefully we'll have an answer for you here.
Okay.
Well, specifically to me, I took it as a sign from her mom, but specifically to me, it means like heritage, lineage, stability. Am I getting out what you're asking? Is that Susie asking me?
Yeah,
I
that
have
was
Mary
me.
pinned, so I don't know who, I can't see everybody.
Okay. No, because oaks are known for their strength. They're
Yeah.
they're very solid in the winds. And of course, for me, my mind goes, yeah, the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. But we're not questioning anybody's level of sanity here. But it's just the oak it's a very evocative image for me. So thanks for clarifying that for me, Angela. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, and Mary definitely has a very solid, practical, grounded energy.
I try.
Great. All right. Anything else anyone wants to share with Mary before we finish up? All right, great. Mary, anything that you want to share with the group in terms of like how their offerings landed for you, what resonated? And
It just all makes sense now. Makes more sense. Let's put it that way. I've done a few of these, and every time I do, I get more grounded, more feeling that I know what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And that's basically, I guess, what I'm looking for.
great. Thank you so
So
much.
I-
Thank you for supporting our practitioners on this panel today.
No problem. Thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to ask my questions.
You are very welcome. All right, let's see. So next we've got Anne. Anne, are you all ready to jump in with a question? Is Anne ready?
Okay, I think I'm ready.
All right.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, and now you can see me too.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I have, I just want to give you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Anne, and I live in Seattle. I am a Reiki practitioner. And when the pandemic hit, my clients were in assisted living facilities, so I haven't been able to go back and work with them since. Since this pandemic and the past couple of years, I've been doing a lot of shadow work, inner work, clearing out my inner child, working on past relationships with my family members mostly, but also other relationships as well. So that's given me more clarity, and I've been working on some of these panels with all kinds of different energies. And my question, I guess, is I would like more focus on where I would like or should be going with my career. Again, I work with Reiki energy remotely. I've been working with mediumship. I've been working with crystal skulls. I've been working with the galactics. I had an amazing thing that happened to me in a meditation last night that had to do with ETs. And I do have a current conflict with a family member that I would like to resolve, and I'm not sure how to do that. So anything that comes up on, co-creating my business, any partnerships you see, any family members that come in, anything that the first thing maybe that comes, or the strongest thing that you think I need to be working on at this time, would be really helpful. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks so much for your question. And so Angela, are you all set to answer? Is that what you're? Okay, great. Go ahead.
Hi, Anne. Can you see Anne?
Hi.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, I really got that. You'd be really great at helping people with trauma and helping them heal and focusing on those strengths. Like, I feel like you've done a lot of work with yourself, and you don't have to be completely done with that to help others through it, because I think it's amazing when you know what needing to heal feels like and what it takes to get through that. And I think that intuitively, you'll probably be able to, do you find that you can intuitively connect with what kind of trauma or things people need healing with? That's what I sense about you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just sometimes blurt things out, or just it seems so obvious to me, and I just jump right in. So I could see myself figuring out how to work with those energies and to do it in a career way.
Yeah. And so, I mean, just like with everything, just keep working at it and practicing and refining. And I think, like everything in life, everything works out the way it's supposed to. I think you're going to find your path, and it's going to come together, and you just keep going and focusing. And you said that you're a Reiki master already. I mean, that's a big first step to keep working with that. And it's a great pathway into leading in with, helping people heal and, taking it into whatever unique way you create that space to help people. And good luck.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Angela. All right, we've got Jess and then Abby. Go ahead, Jess.
Well, hi, Anne. So
Hi.
the very first card I got for you, before you even really announced sort of what it was about, was success. So let's just get that one right out, out of the gate. Oh, and the next one was gateway. So I really feel as though this time has been one where you've been able to sort of retreat and recharge, and all of that clearing work really opens the way. And it is time for you to move into this place of not striving, but letting go and going with the flow, and sort of taking charge in a intuitive way where you're connected, but you're really able to move forward into the success with your career and this energy work that you're doing, and whatever that may be. So I am getting a sense of some masculine energy, and I think that's a sort of stepping up and taking charge, but also being connected to that feminine receptive side and intuition and guidance, but really sort of being the master of your energy and your creation, and what you sort of put out. But again, success. So I hope that helps.
Great, thank you. Thanks so much.
Great, thanks, Jess. We've got Abby, then Denise, then Carrie. Go ahead, Abby.
Hi, Anne.
Hi.
Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to chat with you. The first thing that showed up for me when you were talking about your situation was is something in relation to like a spin cycle, like kind of like a washing machine going through the spin cycle. So to me, it felt like your energy sometimes goes in circles. And my first like wanting to like help or throw something out to kind of give you like a tidbit to chew on was to figure out ways or other ways or additional ways to kind of ground that spinning energy for you, just so that you're because I know you said that you do Reiki for your clients, so it moves through you and doesn't stay on you or stay attached to your nerves. It was kind of like the two big things that kind of showed up for me while I was chewing through your situation. But regarding like a literal idea for you regarding like a continuation of your practice, my first thought that came to mind was actually teaching others how to do what you do, like with your particular client base. So teaching other people how to work with your particular client base, and maybe sharing that knowledge, sharing those little ins and outs, sharing that bit of wisdom that only you have, like your secret sauce that shows up for you, like figuring out ways to teach other people how to do that. The cards that I pulled for you, I had the World along with the High Priestess, and then the Ten of Wands showed up for you. And so for me, my first thought for you was like, this is your opportunity to decide and to choose what it is that you're going to be doing, not necessarily be handed the next thing that you're going to do. So that's kind of the cool part, and also kind of like the nerve-wracking aspect of it.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said.
No worries. So I pulled the World along with the High Priestess and then the Ten of Wands. And so for me, what that pulled for you was that this is your opportunity to decide what you're going to be doing next, not necessarily be told what you're going to be doing next.
Okay.
So it's just like, you get to choose. That's kind of the cool part of being able to choose, but it's also nerve-wracking that it's your responsibility to choose. And so if you ever deal with self-doubt or not being really sure about what actions you're taking next, it's your opportunity to like, okay, regardless, I'm going to pick and I'm going to go through with it.
I'm going to step into my power, it sounds like, right?
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I didn't feel anything in relation to partnerships, but did you have a specific question regarding like anybody that you're looking at, or you said you had a current conflict that you were kind of wondering what kind of wisdom you can pull for that?
Yeah, that's a family member that doesn't have to do with business or my career.
Is there anything that you want to share with me on the situation, just to see how we can?
Yeah, you mentioned a name. I'm not sure if that's the family member that's in the notes, and then yeah, anything you want to share about it?
It has to do with my daughter, actually, and conflicts that we have, current communication conflicts.
Okay. the first bit I was getting is like, you know how sometimes we love our well, I'm a parent to a 15-year-old. So it's like, I feel like is your daughter older? She's older than 15, right?
Emotionally, she's like about 10, but she's 33.
33 going on 10. Okay, gotcha. The feeling that I got was that it was more of you being the mom. You're trying to do the best you can by sharing or telling or giving your wisdom or advice. However, it's like the feeling that I was getting is like it was a butting of heads because you're a little bit alike in that regard. And so as much as you would love to share the information because you have the lived experience, you have the age on your side, you have some wisdom to partake on her, it's just oil and water. So she's not going to listen to it. She's not going to hear it. She's going to have to go through her own lessons, her own, scraping up her knees, her own getting and dusting herself off. She's going to have to go through her own stuff over time and then come back to you. So even if there is a conflict, understanding like, she'll show back up in due time. That's not going to be a long-term worry. Just allowing her space to scratch her knees. Like she's always going to be okay in the broad scopes. If she comes to you asking, hey, Ma, I have a question, then provide your information. But if you do the whole preemptively, you know what you should do, that's just going to be overwhelming and kind of feel smothery for her. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually an area where you guys kind of get into conflict and she starts to want to pull back, and then it turns into a whole mess.
That's it. Yeah. She just has to learn this is her path. And so I'll be here waiting for her when she's ready.
Exactly. And it's offering guidance, not necessarily telling her what to do. And at 30 and some change going on 10, we still think we're being told what to do. So it's just like, she'll figure it out too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's very helpful.
Great. Thanks so much, Abby. All right, we've got Denise, Carrie, Gio, and Angela. Go ahead, Denise.
Okay, hello. First of all, I want to say congratulations, and I'm so proud of you for doing the shadow work. That is so hard. I do a lot of shadow work myself, and it is just grueling sometimes. So kudos to you for doing that, because it can be really hard. I drew some oracle cards for you, and it's interesting how they kind of all tie together, and I'll get into that in a second. The first one is make the sacrifice. And this is talking about if you're going to move forward, and you're going to set your intentions on something and you're going to set a path, you're going to forego other things. And maybe that's, I'm making the choice if I make the choice to have steak for dinner, then I can't also have pasta for dinner. I've made one choice, but that forgoes another choice. And then let go of the old was the third one that I drew. And I'll get to the second one in a second. But both of these cards are talking about letting go of the things that no longer serve you, or letting go of dogma, whatever. I don't know if you're looking at this going, I don't know if I want to go in this direction because it's too out there or because other people are going to think less of me or whatever. But if you're doing shadow work, you're doing some great looking at yourself and digging through those things. So this is going to be both of these are talking about clearing out the things that no longer serve you and not worrying about moving forward and not necessarily worrying about what other people think or being afraid of it, I guess is the best way to say it. The middle card was see yourself in nature. And this is talking about looking at your environment and how you fit into it. And what do you want to do and where do you want to go? And again, this talks about maybe letting go of dogma. And so I just, you've done some good shadow work, and I think you're going to find the answer that you need and that you want, and to decide whether or not you're going to move forward. It's within you, and you'll find it. When you do find it, if you think that's what I really want to do, if there's a question of, but how am I going to do it? Look at that and don't discount it out of hand. Okay. Whether that's but I'm not sure if that's going to work because of whatever reason. Yeah, I love that you're doing this emotional work. I'm babbling now. I get really emotional when people are talking about shadow work because I do so much of it. I'm just like, oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Thank
but
you.
that's what I have. You're welcome.
That's great. That's very helpful. Very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Denise. All right, Carrie.
Hi, Anne. I pulled a few cards for you, but I just wanted to go off of what Angela was saying about helping others, maybe people with trauma or people with addictions or whatever it may be that you find. And also what Abby was saying about teaching, because I pulled for you the Hierophant, which is just talking about being either being or finding a spiritual leader. And I feel like what we're talking about today, I feel like it's more you than necessarily you finding one, maybe being in that teacher realm, or even teaching people who have had trauma and addictions and just whatever, like I said, maybe teaching them to use Reiki and to just open them up to spirituality in general. Because and I also have the Two of Pentacles, which means, to me, it means that you're very adaptable. So you're going to find whatever it is. You're not going to have a problem finding that. I think that, like everybody else said, you kind of go inside and you kind of already know. It's just finding that the place for you to practice that at, whether it's you kind of opening up your own business, doing that, or whatever you feel for yourself. But I feel like you're going to be an instrumental leader in spirituality for people who need it. But also talking about your daughter, I pulled a couple of things for that as well, some oracle cards. You're good enough. I just want you to know that. I know that you're helping her, and like I can't remember who said it, but sometimes kids don't want to listen to us, even though we've been there. We try to impart our knowledge on them. They just kind of shut down. They have to go through it themselves, and I'm learning that lesson right now myself. And I also pulled the solar plexus. Maybe keeping up with that shadow work and pulling energy from your solar plexus is going to be important for you. Keeping with knowing who you are, keeping your strength, that self-confidence that you naturally have. And then also, there's also some change, talking about pushing that ego aside to finally recognize letting go of the control that you think that you have. A lot of times we think that we can control things that we can't. And I don't know if this is in regards to the relationship with your daughter or not, but it's a kind of a crossroads. It's part of an evolution. All we can do really is just be there for the people we love and kind of guide them as much as we can to let them go through everything themselves. So that's pretty much all I have for you, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. That last card was really helpful because I find myself slipping from, like being lucid during the day. And then sometimes like I'll slip back into my ego, and then I'll catch myself and I'll go, wait a minute, so I'm trying to recognize that when it happens and make that lesser rather than more often. And that is kind of, I guess, probably part of my whole life, but my individual situations right now as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
It's hard to let go of the ego. I mean, we're taught to lean on it, I think, as humans, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like we're working backwards to get back to our spiritual self, and knowing that we can set that aside. I mean, there is a healthy ego, and we need some of it, but like you said, just recognizing when you slip back into that and you're not trying to, and then pulling back and going to where, the direction that you want to go. I mean, it's tough, but it's doable,
Yeah.
Continue doing
a
what
lot
you're
of that
doing.
is from my past. So I just go, wait, this is not my energy, let that go, release it now, and go back to my, my healthier self. So thank you so much.
That's right. You're welcome.
Thanks, Carrie. All right, go ahead, Gio, and then Angela.
Well, I know I said I was only going to do oracle cards, but for some reason I decided to pull some tarot cards. So bear with me. But they're relevant. So the first one I got is Four of Swords, which you had mentioned a time of relaxation and not being able to see your clients because of the pandemic. So this is a card that tells you that that's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Pull back, meditate, relax, rejuvenate, think about what you're going to do next. So that was relevant. Then we got the conflict. Definitely a conflict card, but the way I understand this card, the witch here is on the high ground, that they have the correct position and they're being opposed, but they're standing their ground. And now, as a therapist, I would not recommend necessarily fighting with your daughter. I would suggest other non-confrontational ways of resolving issues. But this is the card that came up that basically says that there's some truth to your position. And I can't get into it now. Other ways of resolving conflict.
No,
I'd have
it
to
makes
talk to you.
perfect sense, Gio, because
Okay.
I was wanting to move forward with my relationship with my daughter and asking her to open up. She's very quiet and secretive and doesn't want to share things. She's afraid of judgment and whatever. And so her response was, well, I'm going to censor you. You can only talk about these things. And I'm like, I'm asking you to open up and you're telling me to shut down. No, that's not healthy. That's not going to work. So that makes sense.
And then this one, twisting it into your situation, this to me, the Cups card has to do with emotions, and the Ace of Cups has to do with new relationships and emotions. And so to me, this implied hope with the relationship with your daughter, that it was going to come around, it was going to get resolved, and start a new kind of connection. After the conflict, to forge a new kind of relationship that was going to be good and positive with her.
Yay.
So
Thank you.
that's my first tarot reading I've ever done.
Really? Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for doing that for me.
I'm brand new, just started about 3 weeks ago. Even
you're right
buying a
on.
card. Yeah.
That's perfect.
They seemed
Thank you.
relevant, so they needed to speak.
Yeah, and that's why I gave you some feedback, because it really is perfect. It's relevant, all of those. Thank you.
And great job, Gio, for going with the flow of what was coming through you. All right, Angela.
I just wanted to quickly say that in what Abby said in elaboration, that was the sense I totally got to, is space, space, space. And then kind of like, sometimes you don't really need somebody to open up completely, because if they don't want to discuss stuff. But what I picked up on before that was the daughter and like maybe some self-sabotaging behaviors, and you just said right now, there's things she doesn't want to talk about. I don't know if that's along the line of, you're trying to protect her from self-sabotage or unhealthy habits, maybe particularly a partner that she's chosen. And, it's hard watching our people do things that we kind of see as like ending in a disaster. But we all have our own lessons to learn. And that's the hardest, especially when it's a child, because we want to put this like safety net around them. But just as like everything that you've had to go through, she has to go through it too. And there was something Carrie said too. I don't know. But anyway, I wish you the best.
Thank you. Yeah, that helps too. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Anyone else have anything? Anyone have anything else to share with Anne? Oh, Susy, go ahead. Susy, yeah.
Of course I do.
Hi, Susy.
Hey, Anne. So grateful that you're here.
Thank you.
You're talking about the things you've been working with at the beginning, and you know me well enough for me to understand when I say lean into the crystal skulls and lean into the galactics. This time that you've been taking on your own has been downloading the dragons. You said crystal skulls and dragons came out. Same thing. Dragons have been downloading for you a lot. So this has been the time for you to calibrate, to reacclimate, to integrate. That's the word, to integrate with this. So working with the galactics, I think there's You've got a skull or two that are connected to galactics. So, hang with them, talk with them, and see what they have. They're going to give you insight into your own power. I'm feeling a lot in your heart right now as you've gotten all these marvelous responses from the practitioners that I feel that, oh, yeah, your heart's really breaking open here. And accept the energy, using your Reiki abilities to help draw that in and allow it to integrate more efficiently is going to really help you. Focusing on yourself, allowing your daughter to do her thing. This is your job, is to allow that space, especially with your Reiki healing with others. I love the idea of the addiction recovery. That's allowing your experience and your expertise to help others heal. And I can't reiterate enough that that's our place here, is to help others people heal as we heal. So well done. Well done.
Great, thank you. Well, the activation I got, this random thing that happened last night as I was getting ready to fall asleep, were the galactics that came in, and I'm like, well, what is going on? It was the most amazing thing that I've ever experienced, and they said it was an activation, and then they said at the end, integrate. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, for galactics, that's like, just breathe and let it happen. They're not, that's what I find is my interactions with skulls and dragons and the galactics, is that if I resist it, then yeah, it's going to cause trouble. But if I allow it to happen, because you have an innate trust with your galactics, with your guides, and so this is an opportunity to trust what they are downloading to you. It feels like a frequency up level, and you're going to open up some of these past life things that are playing into what's going on with you now.
Great.
Cool. Well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much, everybody.
All right, and Jess has something else to share. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so hearing about what's going on between you and your daughter, this comes more from my professional career as a mentor and a coach. But that idea of really getting yourself to pull back on wanting to fix things, which is so much easier said than done. Especially, I mean, I have a 16-year-old daughter. It is tough. But instead focusing on some active listening techniques where you're giving back a little bit of what she said. So some of those key words and concepts, just giving them back to her. And some tell me more about that. And some using curiosity and pulling back on what you want to offer, but instead choosing your moments to integrate a little bit of influence, not in an assertive way, but in a like, this has been my experience, or a helping her to arrive to that where she thinks she's come up with it. But I would start with pulling back and just doing some active listening, give back keywords, just rephrase a little bit and allow her to expand or elaborate as she chooses. Yeah.
Some open-ended questions.
Yep, you got it. Open-ended questions, curiosity, reflecting back a little bit, just what she's saying. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really helpful reminder. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, Abby's got something else too. Go ahead, Abby.
Sorry, it just reminded me of a situation similarly with my own mother, where I felt the need to do the same thing to my own mother. And it was an effort to maintain a relationship with her that I put in boundaries. And so while yes, my mother hit right up against them and she was not okay with them, it did kind of give us a starting point of how to navigate our relationship moving forward, because I wanted to be in her life. She wanted to be in my life, but I felt at the time that she was smothering in a way that just wasn't appropriate for the boundaries that I wanted in my life. I wanted to be the adult now. I wanted to be seen as such. And she was having a hard time seeing me as the grown version of myself. So even though I personally, Abby doesn't like that she said, no, I'm going to censor you. But if we think of it more like a boundary, and then she's trying to still have a relationship with you. So it might be just a touch of reframing what she said to kind of see like, oh, she's looking for boundaries, not trying to, you're a bad mom, you say things I don't like, but more of like, this is what I need to still have connection with you. So it was just a throw out there, but from a daughter being in the same position at one point.
Thank you. That's helpful. Thanks.
I know just a little bit that I'll share too. A part of the pattern that I see in your eyes is that I think that you deeply value being able to support someone else. And I think that you've leaned too much into supporting others, right? It's similar to what others have shared, that's not caring as much for yourself. And
yeah,
I think with your daughter, she's gotten a bit dependent on the help that you give her. Like, it's convenient, you're always there. And so she fights against it and she wants it all at the same time. And so if you're going to be making, well, I encourage you to make a big shift and like to pull back in that way, to still be there with her. And if you're going to make a big shift, you might want to let her know that you're changing how you're going to behave, that you are still here and you still love her. So she knows you haven't simply run away. But part of it is pulling your energy back to you more. And then similarly with your clients, I think that you probably had a kind of more of a dynamic happening with the previous clients where you were doing more lifting and supporting of them. And while you still want to be lifting and supporting someone else up, doing it with someone that really is moving up on their own will probably be more fulfilling for you overall. So choosing people to work with that are really like leaning in and stretching their own.
That can help do it in a collaborative way, maybe, to help themselves as well.
Right,
Yeah.
they're really stepping in and not depending on you to do the work. Yeah, they'll move more.
Great. Yeah, that's great, Laureli. Thank you. Yeah, that's helpful.
Great. So yeah, great insight from the panel.
Wow, that was really amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been very, very helpful and insightful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, great. And we've got 2 more people in line. Next we have Laura, and then we have Cheryl. So Laura, what is your question?
Hey guys, I'm in the process of putting my video on. Taking my blue tape off. All right.
Great.
So my question, it's probably a bunch of questions. And it revolves around the death of one of my dogs, which happened pretty recently. And the number of things that have happened since then and leading up to that are like really heavy with symbolism and like references to things that keep coming up. I guess my biggest question is like advice, basically just looking for advice on how to stay connected with him and convey how much he meant to me and how much I loved him in ways that I maybe wasn't even able to do while he was here with me. And make sense of like this one thing that has come up twice, because I've reached out to a few people over the last few weeks to get advice, and I've heard the reference to ancestors a couple times. And although that like it's come up a few times, I don't really know, I don't have any like insight into it myself. So I'm interested in that. Whereas other things are happening that I'm noticing and seeing and feeling like there's something like from another dimension that's been having to do with him that's going on in my life.
Okay,
so should I go further, or is that enough to get started here?
Oh, I think that's enough to get started. That's great. We've got 2 practitioners already got their hands up. So yeah, if there's more you want to share as we go along, something's relevant, please go ahead. All right, let's see. We've got Jess and then Abby. Go ahead, Jess.
Hi, Laura. I'm sorry to hear about your dog. But at the same time, I think what I hear you saying is you want to stay in connection with your dog. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And my response would be, there was never any loss of connection, right? So when we're in the physical and they're no longer in the physical, we have this sense of separation and loss of connection, but it's truly an illusion. And so I think that the more we can shift our perspective and ease some of the grief and fears that sort of hinder our connectivity, the sooner we're able to do that, the more we're able to be receptive to that connection. And so that would be what I would say. I will say, I'll show you this card, which I was shuffling for you and I heard the question. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I got this one. And it's actually the Hanged Man. But you can just see it's kind of a cozy, good feeling sort of card. But it's about perspective shift and seeing things in a different way. And so that would be what I would offer, is that connection is there, period.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much, Jess. All right, Abby.
Oh, my dearie, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of your fur friend. I did pull some cards for us, and then I got some information in addition to it. So one of the cards that hopped out for me for him was the Knight of Cups, and I felt like your little guy was like emotionally your knight in shining armor. So he's kind of the one that kind of helped propped you up and kind of, in that almost cliche sense, kind of rescued you in a little bit. And so with the Three of Swords that followed up behind it, it's that void. You have a dog-shaped hole in your heart at the moment. But I want to double back on what was just said about there was never a loss of connection between the two of you. So the great thing is that it never disappeared, it never went away. It's just like the tactile presence of him has departed, but some ideas to kind of help keep that going for you. So kind of like kind of give you like an interim safety net or a cozy blanket while you're working through the loss of your pup. A couple things that showed up for me was actually keeping water in his water bowl. Might be a nice little idea to just kind of think of him each time when you're doing like maybe the dishes or you're doing your normal day-to-day chores. Just continue to include him in your day-to-day stuff. So if it's just putting a water bowl down where he used to go, that might be a nice way to kind of connect to him there. Another thing that showed up while you were talking about your ancestors is actually kind of treating him like you would an ancestor. So for instance, if you have like an ancestral altar or a place where you kind of connect to yourself, maybe have your little picture of him up on your table or on wherever you keep it, where he was kind of like his happiest, if you ever have any of those pictures, and maybe keep some of his little treats if you can on that altar space. And then I got a nudge about his chew toys, if you had any chew toys, or maybe getting him a couple chew toys just to play with while he's still kind of scampering around the home. So we don't have to necessarily behave as though he's already gone. So having water out for him, having some chew toys for him, just keep him as part of the family, even if he's not actively playing with them. And then just don't be surprised if you actually hear like one of the squeakers go off in your chew toy because he'll probably take off with it in the middle of the night. So that's what I got for you, dearie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I actually do have a bone near his grave, and some of the other dogs that come through are taking it. Sometimes they take it away and I put another one there.
Oh, that's kind of sweet to do for all the dogs.
Yeah, and I've actually thought about putting water out there, but I hadn't done it. But I did put moss there, and I water the moss.
There you go.
But yeah, he needed water. Like he was thirsty towards the end. That was one of the last things I noticed.
Okay.
It's interesting that you said that.
Was he having kidney issues?
I don't know. I don't exactly know what happened, but he was having a hard time. He wanted to drink like more than he did want to eat, but he had a hard time drinking.
Oh, poor sweetheart. Well, maybe keeping some water out for him now. We'll be grateful for him.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Abby. We've got Denise in line and then Carrie. Yeah, go ahead, Denise.
Okay, hello. I'm tearing up a little bit here. I'm sorry about losing your dog. Azrael, who, if you don't know who that archangel is, he's mostly mentioned in Islam, but he is the Archangel of Death, and death is a transformation, it's a transition. And what he said to me was, you know, he knows he's loved. The love always comes through. They always know. So he knows that you loved him. And the cards that I drew for you, the first one is Stay Strong, which talks specifically about going through grief or any kind of trauma and knowing that you will get through it. But the two other cards that I drew both mention love, which I find kind of appropriate. Like I say, the first thing I felt was Azrael saying, like, you know, don't worry, the dog knows that he knows that he was a loved puppy. And the first one is Nurture All You Love. And this includes you as well in that. your hopes, your dreams, your futures as well. And then love without condition. So, you know, you are good enough. You are strong enough to deal with this. You know, you were a good dog mom, and he knows he was loved. He knows he was well cared for. Take some of that love that you can't give him anymore in this physical plane and redirect it at you, and you know, love yourself while you're going through this. It's grief doesn't have a timetable, and allow yourself a little bit of grace. But yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm there's a lot of love there. I can feel that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks, Denise. All right, Carrie, go ahead.
Hi, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know it's hard. Speaking of someone who named their business after their dog, I totally get it. But I did pull a few cards. Oh, actually, I can't remember if you said anything specific about him. I keep seeing it's not like a large dog. It's kind of medium dog, and it's a brown dog, not shaggy, not like short-haired. And I can't help but shake the feeling. I don't know if your dog is trying to send you. Do you have other dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you're a special human. I don't know if you know that you can communicate with animals. I feel like that you can. Like they can totally understand you. You understand them, mind to mind. I feel that, and I also feel that he's either trying to send you another dog. Was he a rescue?
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if he's trying to line something up for you or you're thinking about it, but I feel like I think he's wanting you, because, okay, let me just go through really quickly the cards I got, and then you tell me anything that you're getting from that. But first is the Chariot. It's a card of strength and willpower. You have enough love for all animals to where, I know it's a big loss, but you have the willpower to pull yourself through it, and you understand animals need us. There's so many out there that need us, and I feel like he knows that too. There's also phases to our lives and phases of their lives as well, and this is just you have to understand, you know, this is part of the phase of the relationship with him. He's moved on over the Rainbow Bridge, but he's still feeling your love, and like what everybody else said, you know, the water and letting him know that you still care about him. He's actively trying to, I feel like he's actively trying to fill that hole. like I said, I just keep getting this feeling like he's trying to either nudge you toward the shelter, or he's trying to nudge another dog toward your way, or something like that. And then also I got this card speaking about freedom, talking about releasing yourself from the bonds that hold you back. And I just feel like every card I've pulled is talking about, here's another card about something personal is reaching a resolution. What do you need to release? So I keep feeling like what everybody else was talking about, doing these things to kind of pour those emotions and releasing that into the earth, releasing that into the, you know, the air, whatever you have to do, and keep that heart open, keep your big furry heart open, because I feel like you have this connection to all animals, not just dogs, but particularly dogs. So what were you going to say something when I was saying that, or does that resonate with you?
Totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah. He was like the most of all. I know a lot of dogs. I've known a lot of dogs because I work with dogs. So I have dogs coming into my life all the time. But it's funny because you're the second person who's told me that he wants us to get another dog.
Yeah.
Since he did come from a shelter, like he was found with a group of dogs when he was pretty young. And he's always loved dogs. But beyond loving dogs, he wants to like stand up for them and like advocate for them. And he's like so gracious. He just assumes all dogs are like good dogs. And he, more than any dog I've known, he just loves his own kind.
Yeah, I got a flash while you were talking like that of, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I believe in reincarnation, and I believe that, you know, our soul does other things, of course, but I'm not convinced that he wasn't a human in past life. Maybe
Yeah.
he was someone who advocated for others, and he chose to come back as this dog that he wants more. He wants animals that don't have homes to have homes. If he chose, I don't know if you know this, right, but I feel like he chose you because he knew that you felt the same.
Yeah, that could totally be true. Like it was kind of funny how we ended up getting him in the first place, but he totally chose us, and that just, just decided to go to the shelter one day out of the blue. There he was, and when we got up to leave, he barked like, "Hey, wait, you need to bring me.
Don't forget me."
Let's make this happen."
Aww.
So, yeah.
Well, I think it's amazing that you kind of already know what he wants you to do, and it's fine to grieve, and you should grieve. You shouldn't. I'm not saying don't grieve his loss. I mean, you will forever. I mean, because he was special, but you also know him and know yourself well enough to know that there's so many more that need you. So you may not find that special one like he was, because I swear I think he used to be a man, but but there's more out there that need you, and I think it's great that you're so willing to help, and they just need you a lot.
So the other thing that comes up with that is that I actually am like orienting towards wildlife work, and I love all animals, just like you said. And I think, so one of the things that's been happening is I think his passing is like really time-wise, it aligned with my shift towards that type of work, which is why I'm like, why do you want me to get another dog? Yeah, I don't know if I should get another dog. Like, I should be focusing on wildlife. But the thing is, there's a connection. So if I do get a dog, it's going to be a wildlife dog, like a conservation dog. So
yeah.
And I don't know when that would happen, but I think he wants that to happen.
Yeah. I have a feeling like whatever this next animal that you take, you're going to stumble across them. It's not going to be, it's just going to happen. And you'll know when it happens. You'll know when the right time is. So just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great work. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much.
All right. Thanks so much, Carrie. All right. We've also got Gio in line. So I'll have Gio go and then Susy.
Okay, this is quick, but crazy relevant. So I pulled the Crossing Bridges card, which we were talking about crossing over the Rainbow Bridge. And the words at the bottom are, it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. So what I got from that is that, yes, you love your dog, you want to honor your dog and the memory of your dog, and you should, and then you should move on, because the bridge is saying that there's other dogs or animals or opportunities or other things waiting for you, that once you're finished with the appropriate honoring and memorializing, that you should do what it takes to your heart so that you can put it in a very, very, very special place and then move forward for other things. So thank you.
Thanks.
Great, great. All right, Susy.
Hey, Laura. So this whole time, let's see, I'm trying to figure out what the orientation is. It's by, what I'm seeing is your left arm. I just see this head, this little puppy head right by you. And, you know, he reaches up his paw and he's just like, hey, I'm here. And that's about as far as my animal communication skills go. However, when you're talking about connecting with your ancestors, I got very strongly that working with the crystals that you do, you can connect with them through the stones.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're it is you've got this, is it galactic, there is quite a lineage, a spiritual lineage of you and your ancestors being connected with the stones. I see them at a variety of sites, like Machu Picchu, and not so much the pyramids, but definitely where there are henges, you know, like Stonehenge, and those circling of stones around. I see a lot of your ancestors being there. So there is that deep connection with crystals and stones. So it is a means through which, you know, when you make your grids, I know you didn't mention that, and I'm not that psychic, but from our past experience with you, I know you make grids,
Yeah.
and it is through that that you're calling. You can make one so that you can connect with ancestors that way, and you can help them heal. This is right now helping, as you're healing your heart, you're going to be healing them too.
Nice.
Cool.
They
Thank you.
need healing too, the ancestors.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would be arrogant to think nobody needs healing or that somebody
Right.
is totally healed. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe it's just me, but
Well,
there is healing they can do, and they offer their wisdom to you so that you can heal. But also, as Galactic Ashley says, as you heal, I heal. As I heal, you heal. So
Yep.
as you work, you're helping them, and then you're helping those who come after you, not necessarily from your own loins, but from shifting the energy around you, and that will include any and not pets. They're not pets to you. They're family.
Mhm.
That's where the descendants things. All of these rescues you help. You're helping them heal, and they are in essence part of your family.
Mhm.
I hadn't thought of that. Thanks for getting that inspiration going.
yeah, it's kind of interesting because since they're not my biological children, it's not that deep, like
Yeah.
that genetic connection, but they appeared in my life and I took them in as children, basically. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a different type of family, like lineage that's probably involved with how I ended up with the ones I ended up with.
But family is still, that's the key word there, and it is very sacred. And
Mhm.
what you're doing to help our four-legged or winged
Mhm.
friends, or the fins or whatever, it's still crucial in helping the whole planet heal.
Yep.
No
That-
pressure.
well, I do feel like I'm related to all the other animals on Earth.
You are.
Yeah.
You've got a very deep soul connection with them. You've been there, and you have been with them since time. There's a deep connection I see with the cetaceans. So we're talking, what
Yeah.
are they? Whales.
Yep.
So there's a deep connection with the orcas and with the whales, and you have access into that deep, deep ancient knowledge
Mm-hmm.
that helps others. So yeah, of course you're connected with the animals. This is what your heart does. This is what you have done throughout your lives. So well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thanks, Susie. Yeah, I say you have a very deep, protective, a deep, fierce, protective energy.
Mm. Are you looking at my eyes?
Of course, you bet.
Good.
All right. Anything else you want to share with Laura?
I wouldn't mind just taking a second to kind of dig into the imagery of this card that I had shown. Couldn't tell how well you might be able to see it or not see it. But we've got you here in the physical and eyes closed, but we've got these little bubbles of these cute little spirits, in the non-physical that are looking at you and sending love. And you're not seeing them, but they're there. So I just wanted to come back to this image and dig into it a little bit.
Can I throw in something else actually that about seeing things? Because I did see something like a couple mornings ago.
Yeah,
I saw a light flashing in my office, like right over here in this corner that you guys can see. And it was right after I woke up from a dream where I dreamed that Baloo was here in this room, the dog that passed. He was in the room, and I woke up and I was like, oh no, that was so fast. I wish I had made a better, like a longer connection in the dream. But then I found that I was looking at the space that he was in. And then immediately after that, I noticed a little light flickering like above this crate. So I don't know what that was, but
I've had a lot of very significant messages come to me in that state between sleeping and wakefulness.
right. Yeah, that was exactly what it was. It was like I almost feel like I dreamed it, but I know I was awake.
Right. Yeah.
Great. Great. Well, thank you so much, Laura, for your question. Thanks everyone for your answers. And yeah, thanks for your support of our experience today.
Thanks so much, everybody.
All right, we've got another question. Cheryl. Are you ready, Cheryl? All right, great.
Yes, I'm ready. So I have a really big decision that I need to make, and I think I make it, and then I second guess myself. So I'm just looking for guidance from spirit guides, ancestors, you guys, on how I should make this decision and what would be the best for me.
Is there anything you want to say about any of it, or you want to see what comes up for us about?
I kind of want to see what you guys come up with, but if you need more information, I understand that I'm being very vague too. So
it's okay. It's great. Great practice to do all kinds of different questions. All right. Who has something for Cheryl? All right, I see shuffling and mixing and connecting. All right, Angela's ready. Go ahead, Angela.
Does this have to do with leaving your current job?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like you need to leave. I just, you wouldn't be questioning it otherwise, and that's not even intuitive. But I feel like you're feeling like there's no growth there. There might be a little bit of conflict with one person, even if it's not external. It might be like an internal conflict with you. Does that make sense?
Yes, kind of.
I feel like there's this person there that's kind of, I feel like the job in general kind of holds you back from everything that you are able to do creatively, expressively. And I think you've kind of just outgrown it. And so maybe it's just kind of getting your feelers out or expanding upon if it's like, do you want to go out and do your own thing? If it's going out on your own, then maybe it just takes a little bit of time to establish that and get your foundation set up, and so that you're comfortable and confident. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you want to wait for everybody else before I put any?
No, that's great. Yeah, and you can jump back in too.
Okay.
Great. All right, we've got Abby and Jess. Go ahead, Abby.
Yay. Hi, my dear. I'm watching you in 2 locations, so forgive me if I'm like up here 1 minute and then down here for the next. But I did pull a couple cards for you. Now that we know that it's in relation to your job stuff, I did pull Judgment along with the 2 of Pentacles, in addition to the 7 of Cups. And so my first thought is, with you making this judgment call, you trusting your highest judgment is what's in your best interest. That's what you're supposed to do, and what would be in your highest good. The 2 of Pentacles, though, to me was talking about like when we're evaluating the this or the that, but it's the perpetual back and forth of this and that. So you're going and deciding and redeciding and redefining. And I don't know, maybe, but yes, I kind of do. So it's this back and forth. So you're already making your best judgment. So you can stop with the back and forth whenever it feels good. You don't have to keep this going. But when you do make your judgment call, you're going to have a lot of options then further ahead of you. And so with all those options, sometimes we then have decision fatigue. And then we wind up with like, okay, so I left. That's great. Now I have all these things to choose from. Now what? And so the skills you're learning through this, you're going to be learning even further down from here. So whatever it is that you use to decide to leave, or to stay, or to mix it up, or to do X, Y, and Z, you're going to be needing to use it further down the road when you make that decision and then have your next list of options ahead of you. So whatever it is that you're doing, one, trust that you're doing the right thing for yourself first and foremost, and then use that skill set because you're going to have more to deal with in the great way. That's the good problems to have. The good problems to have. Okay. Yes.
All right, great. Thanks so much, Abby. We've got Jess and then Denise and then Gio. Go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, so before we heard what the issue was, and that was really cool that she was able to discern that, The card that I got was there's something better. There's something better. And, you know, I hear you saying that you've been going back and forth, and the next card I got was Unfinished Symphony. So it's a card about sort of maybe wrapping up some loose ends, or I would say actually practicing radical acceptance, because you are headed to change. And I think it's going to be a significant change, but don't try to scare yourself by needing to figure out the next 40 steps, but instead just be open to that next one step. I also got the Hermit and the Death card. So really, you know, not being afraid to withdraw, sit in your own energy, give yourself that space and time to move into the new. And I'll reinforce again, don't try to scare yourself by trying to get it all figured out, but just give yourself the space to allow that next step to come to you and to present itself.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So I think I need to add a little bit of a little peek behind the curtain, because we are going in the right direction. So I'm in college right now pursuing a bachelor's degree in human services, but I have special needs children. So I got really scared that I wouldn't have the emotional energy to continue in a human services field, even though I found you guys and have fallen in love with Reiki and crystals and tarot. And I just feel like I have that calling. But I get scared and think I should switch my degree and go into business and hide behind a computer crunching numbers all day. So that's like, so I just got a job that allows me to do that while I'm going to school. But I feel like I'm very drawn towards, like you guys feel like my tribe. I've never felt like I fit in anywhere, but I feel like I fit in. But I'm scared. I'm scared to keep going that human service, trauma healing type direction, and I want to run and hide. So that was, I don't know what to do.
Thanks so much for sharing that. That's lovely. Let's see. So was someone just answering that wants to jump back in and share more, having heard that? And then I know a few of you want to add more as a result too. I know. Where do we go? Where do we go? All right, Jess, were you just sharing, or did you just?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so I think that don't discount what you have been doing and how that's putting you on your path. You know, don't push against what you're drawn to. That can be part of your path too. And sometimes we kind of carve new paths where we don't see how things could blend. But again, if you sort of don't feed into the fear, but just let that next little bit come. Just let that next little bit come. I think you'll find yourself in a magical place.
Okay.
Great, thanks, Jess. All right, so we're just going to go in order from where we were. And I know some of you have more to jump back in and share. Okay, so Denise, Gio, Angela, Abby, and then Susie will be at the end. All right, go ahead, Denise.
Okay, hi. This is really interesting because I'm looking at cards here that are talking about magic, being different, and following the moon. I've got the first one is trust in magic. And this is talking about stepping without fear into the void, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, and just stepping forward. So if you're questioning it, this is saying, you know, this is talking about trust it and go with it. The second card that I have is love that you are different. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And it's interesting that, you know, it can be confusing when you first find this path and you're like, oh, how do I do this? I want to do this. And where do I go? And there's so many things. There's crystals and there's Reiki and there's tarot and there's Oracle and I'm still trying to figure some of that out myself. So I get that. But you have strengths and weaknesses and you have your own unique talents and you will figure them out. Allow yourself time to do that. The third one is follow the moon. And this is talking about, the card specifically is talking about feeling the pull of the moon and blah, blah, blah. But it's also about waxing and waning. beginnings and endings, and seeing patterns as well. So yeah, this is basically saying to me, it is saying like, you know, look at what you want to do, and go ahead and trust that if you go in a direction that maybe feels a little scary, you're gonna be okay. I fully understand needing to make decisions. Like if you have that job and you need that job to keep the roof over your head for right now, great, I get that. But longer term, if you want to step out and trust this stuff, the universe has got you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. All right. So Gio and then Angela and Carrie. Go ahead, Gio.
Okay, I'm back to my tarot cards again. Quickly, because there's so many people. Four of Cups, dissatisfaction with your current situation. Even though you have options, it's just not quite right. Two of Swords is the issue with having to decide, and almost just throwing something at a dartboard to try and make a decision. So it's the conflict you're experiencing. The solution is Temperance, balance, trying to figure out balance in your life. And the outcome is going to be good. Rainbow blessings are showering your life. But in terms of the advice, the Temperance to me implies, and I know you a little, so I'm cheating a little. The fact that you're pursuing the mental health and helping others career is similar to raising children and helping special needs children. And if you were to follow the advice on the Temperance card, it's balance. Do something else that's different to balance out the amount of mental energy that it takes to do those other two things. Also speaking from experience, because I am both a therapist and a bookkeeper, and I enjoy the bookkeeping, the number crunching part of it, to give me more energy to do the therapy or the caretaking, because it's very, very draining. So maybe the solution at the moment is to have two different things going on, and then possibly later when your children don't need quite as much attention, to go more for the full-time therapy type work. So good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gio. All right, Angela is next.
I just wanted to ask, did you say you were getting your bachelor's in?
Human services.
Is that what you're afraid to do?
So I wanted to go into the working with in counseling with either trauma or parents with special needs children, just any type of that. It has a really heavy emphasis on addiction. And so I have adopted 6 children, so I dealt a lot with trauma. And so I just feel like I had that calling, and I've always been the type person, I can sit with someone and it's like feels like a tsunami sometimes. I can feel their emotions, and sometimes it's overwhelming. I feel like it's gonna knock me over. So I've always felt drawn to that. Everywhere I go, I hear everybody's life story, and they're like, I don't know why I told you all that. So it's like I've just been drawn to that. But I think maybe that also scares me, because if I'm in a crowd of people, I am exhausted afterwards, because I can feel it all, and it's overwhelming sometimes.
Well, anyone here can help you with those like simple techniques of grounding and barriers and protection and stuff. But I like what was that Gio just said that?
Gio.
I like what she just said about well, you said sometimes you want to run away and get a business degree. But you know what? I always wish I got a minor in business or something, because business wouldn't be so scary. Because I mean, I feel like we're all most successful, I feel, when we work for ourselves, because then there's nobody putting constraints or boundaries on us. And so, I mean, I'm not telling you to go get a degree in business. I wish I had a minor in business, but it's something I don't even want to like look at numbers or like Gio said that numbers are like calming and they blow me up. So, but I do work a lot with numbers too. But I mean, I think I love what she said about having that balance, because like I find that I have that too. I kind of have like one half of my life like this and one half of my life like this, and I need variety. I'm assuming you seem like a person that is just like, I don't know, I feel some similarities there, and I feel like you need that variety too. You also need that recharge time. So, you know, you have that life of that supporting and helping people in trauma, and then that's your personal life, and then you're going to have that as a business life. So yeah, I think feeling it out, and you're taking the time there to find that balance. Trying to create that balance and make it happen where you're following your goals, and then you're supporting yourself and your family. So
Right.
it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, Carrie, and then Jess again. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi. I just wanted to say, well, I was going to say some other stuff, and then you were talking about you're so empathic, and like Angela said, people can teach you. You need to set up some boundaries, especially like you said, going out and dealing with people, and it just. I'm the same way. If I go out in public, I have to make sure I shield myself, because by the time I get home, I feel like I ran a marathon or something. So I totally understand what you mean. But and there's also, I love what Gio said again about the balance. I mean, in my real job, the one I hate, but I'm a lab tech. So it's very science-based, medical, you know, all that stuff. But here I am trying to work toward more of the intuitive stuff. And there's no reason why those things don't or can't go together. You know, I think especially when you're intuitive, you do it all the time, whether you know you do it or not. You put it all together. But I did pull some cards for you, and I feel like above all, everything everybody has said today is so true. But I pulled the Four of Swords for you. Rest is so important, especially if you're an empath. You need to take time for you. The fact, you know, you have your other children, you're trying to figure out your next move in life, you're trying to figure out your degrees. You need to rest. You need to take some time and just kick your feet up. I don't even know if you could get away, because your life sounds so busy that you probably couldn't get away. But I mean, even if it's in your house, and I see that you have a space set up that's a sacred space for you, maybe if there's a way to lock yourself in there, I don't know. But I feel like I need to stress to you, it's so important for you to take some time and not, it sounds counterintuitive, but don't think about your next steps. Just think about what you're doing. Just focus on your breathing. Just focus on, did I drink enough water today? I feel like you're so busy trying to figure things out and take care of all these people that you're not taking time enough for yourself. I also see you know, I pulled the Two of Wands. Every time I see this card, I just imagine somebody who's just staring out the window and just wants to just heavy sigh, like there's just something else out there that you want to be doing and focusing on, but you can't right now. Maybe there's travel involved, I don't know, but just take it, just still, to me, it speaks more time for you. And then there's a card, this card that I pulled for inner power. The card says, give me the courage and the power to do what must be done. I don't know if you have a mantra for yourself, and I'm not saying adopt this mantra or anything, but maybe an inner power mantra that you could find that resonates with you, that you can say to yourself when you're feeling kind of pulled 10 different directions, to kind of bring you back to yourself. And I'm feeling also the need to tell you maybe to spend some time with especially your sacral chakra. I feel like that's, have you been feeling extra tired lately with all the stuff going on? You're just kind of like, oh, you know I need to do this, but I'm so wore out. Maybe you need to spend some time on your sacral chakra to make sure you're balanced. That's where our creativity and our drive and our fire for life, our passion for life comes from. And if you're trying to pull from an empty well, it's just not going to work out. So take time for you, please.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Carrie. All right, Jess, and then Susy.
Yeah, I'll try to be quick. So I agree absolutely 100% with everything that everybody said. And I want to introduce this idea of the energy work that you're excited about and drawn to being sort of an antidote for the draining, heavy nature of the work that you're going into. And so it's incredibly draining, especially for somebody that's sensitive to it, but that awareness and that building your awareness, knowledge, skill in that energy work is what shields you and helps you to notice early when you're moving out of alignment or you're starting to feel drained, and of course provides you with all the tools you need to protect your energy. So I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, go ahead, Susy.
Oh my gosh, everything that has been said heretofore has been so spot on. In fact, I was going to encourage you, I'm sorry, Cheryl, I apologize.
That's okay.
I will encourage you to use your Reiki.
Okay.
It's not just for sending out, but as Jess was just saying, you're going to shield your energy. You're going to use your energy. Use your Reiki, and that Reiki will help recharge you, because your path, it seems, is going to be one in which you've stated it's going to be very draining. Use the Reiki not only to shield you, but to recharge you, but to also send a nudging of healing to those folks around you. And it's going to help, it seems, to smooth your path, and it's going to smooth the healing for others. So just Reikify everything you do. Well
Okay.
done. I'm glad you're taking that up. Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you.
Great. All right, just checking. Any last bits to share with Cheryl? Go ahead, Abby, go ahead.
I keep trying to raise my hand and then I keep undoing it. Cheryl, I wanted to, the reminder that just keeps being thrown to me to remind you is that these natural inclinations of yours aren't going to go away. So you might as well go ahead and lean into them, because they're not going anywhere anyway. It's like this will follow you, even if you do decide to go ahead and play the safe route and go into business or go into, your desk to keep the roof over your head. But you have these other natural inclinations that are just going to be very loud, and you might as well go ahead and start working with them while they're still young.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great. That's great. So true. All right, just checking. Any last bits for Cheryl? All right. Thanks so much, Cheryl, for asking your question and supporting us.
Thank you, everyone.
Training panel. All right. Well, we are coming towards the end of our training panel. I put information in the chat that includes a link to our feedback form. So if you're willing to share feedback with us about this event, how we can continue to make these events better, that would be great. If you give us your email address, we will enter you into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of the practitioners of your choice. And you'll get to hear from us about all we have going on. There are also upcoming events for MeWe fairs. Say we've got, what do we have going on? This Sunday, tomorrow, we have a fair with about 15 practitioners. It's going to be hot for many of us, but we will be hopefully in the air conditioning, sharing our insight with you. You might be all around the country and the world, and I just had something fall on my roof. And then coming up next Wednesday, we have a panel on sound healing. On Thursday, we have a panel on animal communication and healing. Next weekend, we have a practice circle for strengthening your gifts. So that's an opportunity to practice your readings and healings with your peers, on each other. And then we have a panel for making possibilities into reality. And new practitioners, we have space on our other panels if you feel ready to leap onto another panel with us. So lots going on. You can learn about all we have going on, just like you got here today, at joinmeweonline.com. Scroll down the page and you'll see all of what's coming. You'll see the practitioners that are in the fair tomorrow. I'm excited to share more with you. There's also a link in the chat if you want to donate a little bit from the value you receive from being here today. You can help share our events on Facebook, donate a little bit of funding for us so we can do more Facebook ads and bring more people in. Totally up to to you how you want to support us. So just being here in the space and asking questions and holding space for others. It's all supportive. Thank you. So we're going to go through and have the practitioners share about themselves again. And practitioners, just go ahead, briefly share your names, your modalities, and then share your contact info so that if someone watches this recording later, they can find you. All right, let's see, we can go in this, should we go in reverse order? You okay going in reverse order today? So I think that would be Denise, and then Angela, and then Carrie, and then Gio, and then Jess and Abby. All right, so Denise is first.
Okay, hello. I am Denise Segler of Gaia's Girlfriend. I'm a channel and I'm an intuitive oracle card reader. So what that means is that when I give you a reading, I can tell you not only what the cards say, but any information that is related to me by the divine. I've been on this path for a few years now. I'm comfortable with working with energy. I'm an ordained pagan priestess and a Reiki master as well. I perceive the divine as though I'm having a conversation with them. So I will get sentences. Sometimes I don't usually get paragraphs, but I will get sentences. And sometimes I just get, mention this, and they'll kind of point me in the right direction. I mostly work with Gaia. That's part of why it's called Gaia's Girlfriend. She's the first being that I had this relationship with, as well as Archangel Michael and Archangel Azrael. My email is gaiasgirlfriend22@gmail.com. That's all one. Gaia's Girlfriend is all one word. Thank you for having me here today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, Denise. And I just want to mention the practitioners too. Hang out till the very end because we'll support you after the panel as well. All right, let's see then. I think we've got Angela and then Carrie.
Hi. I do energy drawings, intuitive energy drawings. I meditate on your energy and then translate that into a drawing, which obviously I'm doodling here. You can see me looking down during these things, but I wouldn't really consider it artwork. So those are tend to be longer readings. A couple of samples of past readings can be found on my Instagram. It's at Glow Reiki California, and I can be reached at Angela at 13llcstudio.com, and it's 13llcstudio.com. And thank you so much for joining today, everybody. It was great to give what insight I got and to hear the feedback and everyone else's, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great, and you remind me too, so in the chat also with all the practitioners' contact info are there specials. All the practitioners are offering specials today, so if you'd like to do a session with one of the practitioners, you can do so at a discount or get a smaller package session today. Denise's special is $30 for 30 minutes, that's 25% off, and Angela's special, let me go find it, is $125 for an energy drawing with a 30-minute review, that's 55% off, and then $45 for a 30-minute aura cleansing using I'm not going to say this right, Usui Holy Fire Reiki, and that's 40% off. All right, let's see, so we've got Carrie next. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Carrie. I am an intuitive tarot and oracle reader. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, and I'm studying to be a certified crystal healer. Have a little bit left. Can't wait for that to be done. And also, you can find me at Juniper Moon Holistic Healing on Facebook, junipermoonholistic.healing.com, and Juniper Moon 555 on Instagram. So I really enjoyed this today. Thank you for putting this on, and thank you for having me, and I loved it, and I can't wait to do more.
That's great. You're totally welcome. And Carrie's specials are $45 per hour for a full tarot reading, 25% off, $50 per hour for a Reiki session. Looks like 28% off. I got an extra note in there, and $60 per hour for a mediumship reading, which is about 29% off. All right. And next we have Gio.
Hello, everybody. So I am a marriage and family therapist that is attempting to add more woo-woo stuff into my practice, using tarot and oracle card pulls, and then trying to understand how the meanings I'm getting from the cards might relate to the issues in your life, and then using that kind of as a jumping off point to do some actual therapy. I've been a therapist for 10 years. And do a lot of other things too, like being Laureli's bookkeeper. I love this community. I love being part of it. I'm definitely being called loudly at the moment. I'm just not 100% sure why, but I'm following my intuition and learning tarot and starting a new practice. Let's see. My email is geolundgren@gmail.com, but that's kind of hard to spell. So my phone number is 720-808-1055. Thank you so much.
And Geo does a bunch of other things besides the bookkeeping. She helps organize a bunch of the documents for the fairs to run and helps the tech set up for the fairs to run and all kinds of other things. And all kinds of bird entertainment in our lives. And her special is $35 for 30 minutes and $60 for an hour. It's 25% off. And
I'm a landlord.
She's a landlord, all kinds of things. Wait,
kinds of things.
She creates all kinds of devices, like for taking your birds on a bicycle ride with her. All kinds of things. All right. Let's see. Oh, going backwards. So wait, it was Jess and then Abby, or wait, which order? I think maybe Jess first and then Abby after. Yeah, going backwards.
All right. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this time that we've had together. I personally don't have any metaphysical qualifications, but I'm just having so much fun with all of this. I don't have any certificates or degrees in the metaphysical sense, but in my professional life, I actually am a trainer, coach, mentor, teaching people about brain change and how we can build our skills to support interactions and care for it all to go better for all of us. And so you saw a little bit of that come into play in this session. But yeah, I can be reached at Jess Pelkey, Pelkey @yahoo.com. And if you wanted to put card reading or something to that effect in the subject, that would help me out.
Great, and Jess's special is $20 for 30 minutes. And FYI, I have no formal academic training in psychology or eye readings or any other intuition, so it is not necessary. All right, Abby.
Hi, my name is Abby, and Jess, your breathing, that is your qualification, honey. So just we'll roll with that. Anyway, I can be reached at avtarotreading.com. I am primarily a clairvoyant intuitive tarot reader. Tarot is my primary tool. I chat with guides, guardians, and ancestors to answer mundane or the esoteric questions. So all of the full gambit of basically you bring it to my table, we're going to find a solution in some way, shape, or form. So that is how I roll and operate. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for coming and playing. It's fun playing in a new sandbox. I can't wait to do this again.
Great, and Abby's specials are 20% off Etsy. There's a coupon code, and I'm not going to say it online because you only get it if you're here in Zoom with us. It is in the chat. You got to come to our events, everyone. And also, I have no training at all about running events. I just can do it naturally. So, right, we do what we do, right? We open to our gifts and they show up. All right, and Susy and I have been supporting this panel today and supporting the practitioners in training. Susy, go ahead and tell everyone who you are and what you do.
What I do. I'm Susy Parker Goins, and I'm with Blue Lightning Healing. I am a channel, a guide, and I love working with energy and helping folks heal. There are frequently some sessions I've come out of where they look at me and say, I didn't know you could do that. And I look back at them and go, I guess I do now. So opening up to the gifts is what I hope to help other people do and to develop your relationship with divine. You can find me at bluelightninghealing.com. You can email me at Susy, that's SUSY, at bluelightninghealing.com. I also have a podcast that uploads on Thursdays and Mondays at 10 called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations, and that's on a lot of different platforms. I am so grateful to have been able to witness and support these lovely practitioners and those who have contributed with your questions and shared all the energy. Thank you so very much. And Wyatt, honey, what are you doing?
Wyatt, one of our other practitioners, is here experiencing what we're doing, meeting the new practitioners and supporting the space. Thank you, Wyatt, for being here. And Susy's special is $75 for 30 minutes and $120 per hour if you schedule during the next week. And I don't have noted what percentage off it is, and I know it's a discount. All right, and I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes to read your soul and help you better connect with your soul and express your purpose and make great choices to support you in life. I have a book on one of the main traits I read in people's eyes. This is the sweet spot. This is leveraging your talents and leadership in life. Your well, there are 7 talents. Each person has 3, and they're a key part of your soul purpose. So I have the book on the 7 talents. I have a set of classes on how to read these talents in people's eyes. We just had a field trip Thursday, learning to read people. Just all kinds of ways to access my eye readings for you and so you can share with others. And I have an event special today too. Let's see. So my rates are 40% off. So if you connect with me here at the fair, they are $100 per hour or $60 per hour for BIPOC. And I now have a lower rate for BIPOC on all of my work. And I think I'm offering too, if you want to, wherever I have it written down, if you want, you can do a shorter session too. I have, I forget exactly the rates. It might be $60 for 30 minutes and $25 for 10 minutes if you want to do something shorter from being here at the event. All right. And this has been MeWe Fairs, MeWeFairs.com. We offer tons of different events, as you have heard. We're thrilled to have you with us today. Great to have new practitioners being able to step up and gain in confidence and learn the skills for how to share their work online and community. So we're expanding and expanding who we are. We also have practice circles for practicing gifts you're already started to open to. We have learning circles where 2 or 3 practitioners or 4 practitioners provide intuitive exercises so that you can stretch your gifts and discover gifts you have that you've not realized. And what else? We have so many different events. We have panels and fairs, and our fair tomorrow is also free and open to the public. It goes from 5 to 9 p.m. Pacific time. The first hour, we do introductions of practitioners and free intuitive panel where we answer some questions from the audience, similar to the way we do today. It's the first time that you're coming to our, well, the first time that you've asked a question at one of our fairs, we put you towards the front of the line. So if you'd like to get a question answered tomorrow, come early and let us know immediately in the chat that you want to get on the list to ask a question, and make sure myself or Gio or Anissa, who was here earlier too, that we know and we get you in line. So thank you everyone for being here today. This was great. Sign up on our feedback form to give us feedback, get into the drawing to get a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. And thank you so much for supporting us with your questions and your care and your energy. So thanks everyone, and feel free to jump in and unmute if you'd like to say hello as you're exiting today, and we'll be here to support the practitioners for a little while after the event. Thanks everyone.
Thank you folks so much. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome.
You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.